you are tuning into Media Soundwave. My name is Heather Cassidy, and today we are joined by three-time Olympic swimmer James Goddard. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Today we are going to be talking about how to become a professional swimmer. Now, if you look back to paintings, back to ancient Egypt, there's pictures of people swimming. In Japan, they held races back in 36 BC, and yet somehow we have managed to take credit here in England for the first competitive swimming dating back to the 1800s. Now, swimming is amazing for the body. It burns more calories than running, than cycling. It's absolutely amazing to get involved with. But let's talk about how we take it from the first dip in the pool as a child through to a hobby and then potentially a career. James, I'm hoping you can help us with this one.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully. you know a lot more than I do anyway. So tell me, what age were you when you started swimming?
So I was a little bit lucky actually. I was born in the Seychelles, which is a little island just off the east coast of Africa. So I grew up right by the sea. So I learnt in the sea, in hotel swimming pools. So that's where I learned.
What age were you?
If you ask my mum, she will say that I could swim by the age of 2. I don't know whether she's over-exaggerating, because mums like to over-exaggerate, but one of the ways that I learnt was my uncle would literally pick me up and throw me in the hotel swimming pools, and I'd have to kind of fight my way to the side and bat my way to the side. So I think a combination of that and jumping in the sea and being on the beach, you know, as a daily lifestyle, that kind of really helped me set the foundations of being able to swim really well.
So what age do you think is the right time for people to start swimming?
I would always encourage parents to get their kids in as early as possible. I've got a 9-year-old daughter, and when she was 3 months old, I think she was, we got her into like the baby splash, you know, just getting her confident in the water, you know, like dunking her under a little bit.
Do you think that makes a difference then?
Definitely, yeah. I've heard a lot of cases of kids where they're like 10, 11 years old and they've never really been swimming and they've got a bit of a fear of the water.
Really?
Yeah, so I think if you get the kids in early, get them used to the water, get them confident in the water as early as possible, that really kind of sets the foundation for later in life being, you know, confident in the water.
So other people that you've swum with and were your teammates, do you know if they started as young as you did? What is the perfect age to start swimming if you want to take it somewhere?
Ooh, that's a really difficult question. I'm sure it's different for every single swimmer. As a kid, I was really, really competitive, and I loved doing loads of different things. I've got to thank my mum a little bit for this because I love doing loads of different sports. I did football, tennis, cricket, swimming obviously, cross-country running.
Your mum's diary must have been fully booked.
Exactly, so yeah, big thank you to my mum wherever she is. But she would taxi me everywhere, you know, take me everywhere, all the different events. But I joined my local swimming club when I was about 7 or 8 years old. And that's when I started to become a little bit more competitive, doing races. So what's the
difference between a swimming club and having a swimming lesson? What is the difference?
So a swimming lesson is more for learning to swim, you know, so, you know, not drowning, basically. If you fall in a pool or fall in like a river or a lake, you know, you do swimming lessons so you can swim to the side. So the swimming clubs is more working on technique and working on more the competitive side of things. So, like I said, when I was 8 or 9 years old, I joined my local swimming club, and that's when I started working on technique and skills, and you know, working on the catch at the front of your stroke and your head position and all this sort of stuff, and then doing the little competitions on the side as well.
So, how old were you when you first did a competition in swimming?
I was probably around 7 or 8 years old. And
can you remember what it would have been?
It was either a school gala or my local swimming club. Yeah, so there would only be like one length races, but I was around 7 or 8 years old. Yeah.
And then at what age did you decide, okay, I want to take this further? How did that happen?
That's a difficult question as well, because I was really into football, like most young lads are in Manchester.
Completely,
I really wanted to be a football player. So, I mean, I was playing for Manchester City and Oldham Athletics on the academy and swimming at the same time. And
when did your mum get a day off?
I know, yeah, she never did, yeah. I've got a sister as well who did loads of stuff as well, so she was busy with her as well. So I don't know how she fit it all in. She did it somehow. But I would do football and swimming at the same time, and I think it was more of a case that swimming chose me rather than me choosing swimming, because
you were better at swimming than you
I was
were
just better at swimming, yeah, and I did more training with swimming as well. So when I was playing football, I trained Monday nights, played my games on Saturday, and I did a football training session on Sunday as well, whereas with swimming I trained Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. So I was doing 6 days a week of swimming. So I think a case of me being maybe better at swimming and training more, it was more that swimming kind of chose me rather than me choosing swimming.
So that was a lot to take on at such an age. What did your typical day look like then?
It depends. I mean, for school was hard. School was really, really tricky.
How did you fit it around school?
Yeah, it was tricky. So the morning trainings were hard. So I probably, when I was going through school, I'd do maybe 8, 9, 10 sessions a week.
How do you possibly fit 10 sessions into a week of 7 days?
Yeah,
how do you do that?
It's really tough. So at school I trained 5:30 till 7:30 in the morning. They were really tough, especially during winter. Oh,
so
the
what
winter
time did you
months
get
are
up
horrible. 4:45, 4:30, 4:45.
Every single
there.
morning before school?
Yeah, Monday to Saturday.
And how did you find that affected your schoolwork?
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, for me, because from a really young age, I wanted to be a sports person. I knew I wanted to do sport. I was like, sport was just my world. It's everything I wanted. I was super competitive. Still am. Yeah, I'm still super.
So you knew that was going to take you further than perhaps some of your subjects that you were learning?
I mean, I guess, as a kid, you're a little bit maybe more naive, and maybe you've got your sights set on dreams and stuff like that. So as a young kid, I really wanted to do sport. So schoolwork for me always took a little bit of a back seat. So I'd fall asleep in classes. I'd fall asleep during tests.
So you were physically exhausted.
Oh yeah, so I'd train 5:30 till 7:30 in the morning.
It could have gone either way though, couldn't it? It could have set you up for the day and revitalised you, but you were absolutely exhausted and falling asleep in class.
Yeah, I'd find I was all right till like midday. Then I'd have my lunch, and then the afternoon classes, I'd kind of maybe fade away a little bit. I remember falling asleep doing IT. I know. I remember doing IT and sitting at the computer, and I literally fell asleep on the keyboard, and I got a detention for it. Actually, I got a letter home, but my mum knew. My mum knew that. I told her, I was like, I've got a detention for falling asleep in class. I can't keep my eyes open.
So on those days where you fell asleep in class, did you then swim in the evening as well on the same day?
Yeah. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays, I do double sessions. So I do morning and an evening. So in the afternoon, it would be 4:30 till 6:30 training. Yeah. So I do 5:30 till 7:30 in the morning, 4:30 till 6:30 in the afternoon.
That must have been so tiring. So at what age did you then take it to a professional level, and how did that happen? How do you suddenly go, okay, I've gone from training every day to I've been offered a job as a swimmer? How does that happen?
Yeah, it's not like you get offered a job. It's not like you go to an interview and so you sit down and like,
That's what I mean. What is the process? How do you go like, okay, I'm a swimmer now?
Yeah, so it's done on funding. It's done on lottery funding. So
that's interesting.
the swimmers get paid through the lottery funding system.
And has it always been that way?
Yeah, it's always been that way. And when I was 18, I did a competition, the European Junior Championships, which is a big competition for swimmers. For boys, for lads, it's 17, 18-year-olds, and for girls, it's 15, 16.
Okay.
And when I was 18, I swam in Malta at the European Junior Championships, and I won 2 golds, and I broke my first British record in the 400 metres individual medley. So that put me in the top 10 in the world, and that's what it was done on back then. It was done on world ranking. So wherever you were ranked in the world, that would kind of tell you how much you were going to be paid. So there are different categories
now?
It is. It's done on medals now.
It's done on your medals. So what kind of medals do you have to get to?
So if you wanted the top funding, you've got to win a medal at a major competition. So at the World Championships or Olympics, if you get gold, silver or bronze, you are on the top funding. And then if you come 4th to 8th, which is a final place, you're on the next category. And then there's a couple of categories after that as well.
So we spoke about how your day looked when you were at school, very, very tiring and lots of work going in there.
Yeah.
But when you actually became a professional swimmer, what did your day look like then, and what other people were involved with your training?
Yeah, so it changed quite a lot. So it meant as soon as I turned professional, it meant that I could fully focus on my training. So my day looked pretty similar to when I was at school, but without the school stuff. So I did college though. So I did 17, 18, I did college, but then after college, when I was 18, I didn't bother going to university. I didn't think it was for me. I just wanted to focus fully on my sport.
Did you spend longer in the pool? Did you go to the gym? How did your day change at that point?
Yeah, I think it did become a little bit more, your mind becomes a little bit more focused on your sport. So, you take care of what you eat, you take care of rest and recovery. You go and see maybe the physio, you might speak to a nutritionist, you might, see all these psychologists, you might see all these different types of people. When you become a professional, you kind of get zoned in a little bit more. So when I started getting paid for it, it meant that I didn't have to worry about maybe getting a part-time job or getting a full-time job, worry about money. I could fully focus on my sport. That was the biggest change, really.
So you were mentioning nutrition. How did that come about? Like, do you choose what you eat and you go and see a nutritionist once, or do you have to stick to a set plan? How does it work? You know
what? If I could go back and start it all again, my diet would be one of the biggest things that I would change.
So you do it differently?
I would definitely do it differently. Yeah. I wouldn't say I was bad with my nutrition. I was pretty good. I used to think that just keep it common sense, so don't eat junk all the time. Just eat good stuff. But some of the top guys and girls, they really focus on their nutrition because it's really helps with the recovery and muscle repair and growth and all that sort of stuff. And because we train at such a high intense level, we've got to hit them sessions really, really hard, right? So we need the good fuel in our body. And if I could go back, I would really try and think about focusing on my diet a lot more. So maybe set a plan out for the week, and I'm going to eat fish on this day and chicken this day, and work it out with what sessions I was doing through the week. I would have a meal ready for that
So
session.
that's something you'd recommend to younger swimmers now that want to compete, is to perhaps look at nutrition more seriously, work out a more structured plan. Do you think nutritionists could have been more involved with the work you were doing then as a professional point? Do you think someone should have gone, okay, this is a checklist, and although you are free to do what you want throughout the day, you need to be meeting these targets, you need to be showing us that you are eating this and that and doing other things as well to help your training?
Yeah, we did have a nutritionist on the team, and he was really great actually. But I do wish they would have got more involved with the swimmers on a personal level as well, you know. So, I mean, we could have, but that's something that I would have changed as well. I would have been more proactive about it. I would have gone and spoke to the nutritionist and said, right, I need you to sit down with me and we need to work out a plan for the week.
Hindsight is a wonderful thing,
yeah,
isn't it?
I would definitely change it. Whereas, you know, if I was hungry, I might just make a big bowl of spaghetti bolognese, you know, and just get it down and just wolf it in with a bowl of cereal after, right before bed. You know, it's kind of, instead of like sitting down and working out what I need for each session, because that's what the top people do. What would I have done differently? It's tricky to say.
Less pasta.
I mean, I guess I would have trained. I would like to have trained harder. I mean, I did train really, really hard. Don't get me wrong. Like, you know, to make 3 Olympics, you've got to train hard. You've got to work really hard. But I feel like maybe if I could go back, I would maybe push myself a little bit harder as well in the pool. It's just because people are crazy. I don't think what a lot of people realise is that these top sportsmen and women, they are crazy. They're absolutely bonkers when it comes to training. They will do whatever it takes to win. You know the term blood, sweat and tears, it literally is blood, sweat and tears. It is nuts. I always like to add, and I don't want to put anybody off here, but I want to add puke in there as well. So blood, sweat, tears and puke, because I've had people, right, who have trained so hard, they've climbed out of the pool and they've just been sick on the pool side because they've pushed themselves that hard. That's how people are. They're absolutely crazy. Like, they'll crawl out of the gym, they'll crawl out of the pool, and these are the type of people I had to compete against, right? So, and a good philosophy once that my coach said, he sat us down once, my coach sat us down, it was in the gym and we weren't training that hard. And he sat us down in the gym and he said, right, guys, look around the room. Okay, look around the room. And he said, are you training harder than everybody in the room right now? And you kind of had to look around. And if the answer was yeah, he'd say, right, are you working harder than everybody in the county right now? And we'd have to think, oh, yeah, maybe. Are you working harder than everybody in the country? And then he'd say, are you working harder than everybody in the world? And that's something that I had to ask myself every single day. You know,
if you were competing at that level, these are the questions that you need to ask.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not just on the room, is it? It is a global thing.
Yeah, and I did 200 metres individual medley at the Olympics, so I've got Michael Phelps in my race. So I had to ask myself every single day.
What happened in that race? What was the outcome?
Well, yeah, Michael Phelps won, of course. I mean, I kind of saw his feet in the distance, but I had to ask myself every single day, am I training harder than Michael Phelps? And that sounds kind of crazy, right? It sounds like, wow, this is Michael Phelps. But
if you are going to be in the pool at the same time, then you do need to ask
yeah, and I want to beat him. You know, I don't want to just turn up and make up the numbers. You know, no one on a serious level wants to do that. So I wanted to be in the gym, be in the pool, and I'd have to say. So if I could go back, I'd try and get more
Eat
in
better,
the zone.
Train harder.
Train harder, yeah.
Put your mind in the right place for it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So what's been your greatest achievements?
That's a difficult question. I mean, if I'm going to go on more of a outside the box a little bit, I've made some great friends from swimming who will always be my lifetime friends. Like, I owe pretty much everything to my teammates. I would never have got to 3 Olympics or won Commonwealth gold medals and European gold medals, all that sort of stuff, without my teammates. There's just no way I would have done that.
Were you training with your same teammates every day?
I mean, there would be different teammates coming in and out, obviously. Some people retire at different times, some people move to different clubs because of certain situations. So, but for the general, I had the same coach pretty much the whole time. I had a little stint down in Loughborough. I had some great teammates there, but my teammates were the people that pushed me every single day. And I don't just mean the people that I swam with in the pool. You know, I had my coach, my physio, my nutritionist. I saw a psychologist every now and again. My mum, my family, my friends, all those guys.
So the whole bigger picture.
The whole package, yeah. So one of the, I guess, an achievement is that I've got some really great friends who I will have for the rest of my life. In terms of medals, which is kind of like a great.
That's
thing.
where you wanted to get to.
Yeah, winning stuff. I mean, one of the biggest achievements for me was the Manchester Commonwealth Games. That was
what did you get? What medals did you get in the Commonwealth Games?
So I won gold. I won a gold in the 200 metres backstroke.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I was just 19 years old and I wasn't expected to win anything.
19 years old and a gold medal.
Yeah, it's 19 years old.
That's got to be some achievement.
Yeah, I was. It was weird because I was one of the youngest on the team and I wasn't expected to win anything. I kind of sat down with my coach before the competition, and we had like our target times and what we want to do. And
what time did you think you were aiming for?
So my personal best time for the 2 minutes backstroke was 2 minutes and 1 second going into the competition.
2 minutes 1.
2 minutes and 1 second, and there was an Aussie guy, right? There's an Aussie guy called Matthew Welsh, and his best time was 1 minute 57. So he was like 3 or 4 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. And in the heats, so we do a heats and then a final.
Okay.
So in the heats, Matthew Welsh gets disqualified.
So he wasn't in the actual race.
So he got disqualified at the start. So he did take him out to go. He did his start and then got disqualified after for moving at the start.
That's something to keep in your head, though, isn't it? Because you can get disqualified for something so easily.
So easy, yeah. I mean, we practice it a million times in training. But anyway, he got disqualified in the heats, so that meant he wasn't in the final. Now I did the heats and I went 2:01 in the heat, so I kind of equalled my best time, and I went 5th fastest into the final. So I was in lane number 2. And then I dropped 2 seconds in the final. I kind of upped my game and I dropped 2 seconds and I won from lane number 2.
So it was a personal best.
Personal best time, yeah.
As well as a gold medal.
As a gold medal. I mean, it wasn't the fastest I've ever swum, but looking back, that was a pretty special swim because it was my hometown, Manchester, and got family and friends and.
Do you think relatives. That helped as well though, because you hadn't had to travel for the race? Do you think it helped that you were in Manchester and you had all your family and friends there to support you?
Looking back, definitely, yeah. Yeah, every athlete wants a home, Commonwealth Games, Olympic Games, World Championships. We all want a home.
Is it 2022? The next one's in Birmingham.
Yeah, they've just been given the Commonwealth Games, haven't they?
So they are coming back to the UK.
They are, yeah.
We'll have them soon.
I was quite surprised when they got it, but that'll be fantastic. Yeah, it'll be amazing. So that the English guys will be absolutely buzzing that there's a home country Olympic Games. I've been really lucky actually. I've had a home Commonwealth Games, World Championships and Olympic Games. So I've been really, really lucky.
That was really lucky, wasn't it?
Really
because
lucky.
How long would you say the career of a swimmer is usually?
So I went till I was 30, which is quite a long time really for a swimmer.
Okay.
But for
it's
guys,
younger for women though, isn't it?
It's definitely younger for women. Yeah, women younger retire a little bit younger. I say retire. We call it retirement. It's not. We've still got to work after. For guys it's maybe late 20s, early 30s, and then for women it's maybe late 20s.
How did you find that transition time though, when you actually stopped swimming? How did you find that?
I don't know whether I have found it, to be honest.
You've not found it?
No, because I'm still in my mind and still in my head. I'm a racer. I'm an athlete.
Do you still compete at all?
On a very local, small level, from a local swimming club, but it's it's nothing like the Olympic Games or anything like that. I do miss competing. That's one of the things I miss the most. Is I miss being with my teammates. I miss competing so much. I miss travelling and racing with different people.
And the excitement of it all, I bet it's so
exactly.
exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so competitive that because I was a backstroke swimmer and a medley swimmer, but backstroke was my thing. I used to get up and race breaststrokers, right? I used to stand on the block and race breaststrokers because I wanted to beat the breaststrokers at their own stroke. So I used to want to touch the wall and know in myself and look at them and say, you've just been beaten by a backstroker. That's how competitive I was.
I'm not a swimmer by no stretch of the imagination. So what is usually the fastest way to swim?
Front crawl's the fastest way. So if you look at the fastest, so like the blue ribbon event, I guess you could call it, is the 100-metre freestyle.
Okay.
Front crawl at the Olympics. So that's the fastest stroke. And then backstroke and fly are pretty similar, and breaststroke's the slowest stroke.
And which is your fastest stroke then?
It'd be front crawl. Front crawl's my fastest stroke. Yeah, but backstroke was my
your preferred?
Best stroke. Yeah. Front crawl was actually my worst stroke, but it's still my fastest stroke. It's
interesting.
Yeah, it's all to do with drag and resistance through the water. So front crawl is the fastest because it causes the least amount of resistance through the water. That's why breaststroke's the slowest, because it causes the most resistance as you swim through the water.
So do you still train?
Kind of. It's only to
Not
keep
the
fit.
same.
No. It's only to keep fit. Yeah, like you said at the start, swimming's a great way to keep fit. It works the whole body, and I played football a little bit after I finished swimming, but my knee was starting to hurt. I was starting to get a bit of a knee injury.
Age.
Well, maybe a little bit. Yeah, that had part to play.
Maybe other things going on as well.
Yeah, but swimming's fantastic for no risk. There's very little risk of injury. Because there's no impact. With football you can get tackled, or the running, the on the joints. You can fall, anything like that. So swimming's great for that, because you're suspended in water and there's no impact on the joints or the muscles too much, so you don't get injured.
So apart from swimming locally, what else are you doing at the moment? Because I know you're still involved with swimming.
Mm-hmm.
What happens?
Yeah, so I kind of I'm kind of moving into the coaching side of things, running swim camps and swim clinics, all that sort of stuff. I've kind of got to still be around it.
Your swim camps aren't here though, are they? Where are your swim
camps?
So
they are. Some of them are here. Some of them
are
based in the UK. Yeah, I've been doing some out in Thailand as well, which has been pretty cool.
Have you got any coming up if people want to go online and have a look for the swim camps you have coming up?
Yeah, it's one. Am I allowed to say my?
Yeah, of course you can.
One Sport Media. Management. If you go on Google that, it's there's links through there.
One Sport Media Management.
One Sport Media Management. We don't just do swimming either, though. We do. We've got football. We've had Terry Butcher involved. We've got multi-sport camps. We've got swimming and football at the minute are our main two.
Yeah.
They're quite big over there in Thailand. Swimming not so much, but
so your camps are here in the UK and in Thailand.
Yeah, exactly.
And it can all be found on the website.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if you go onto our website, which is www.mediasoundwave.co.uk, you'll be able to find a link to James on the Meet the Expert section, and you'll be able to find all about his bio, where you can find him on Twitter, and links to One Sport Media as well, in case you are interested in any of that. So what would be your advice if people are a young person wanting to get into swimming? What would be your advice going forward now as a last thought of the day?
For specifically a swimmer.
For specifically swimming.
For specifically a swimmer, I would say so. From a competitive point of view, some of the things that I would have changed in my diet and my training harder. They're two things that you
train harder, eat better,
yeah, and always set targets and goals in training. Always set targets and goals, because something that I've noticed, and I've travelled the country quite a lot now, going to different swimming clubs and looking at the different swimmers and the coaches and the sets and all the types of things that they do in the pool. And what a lot of kids do is they'll look at the coach, and the coach will give them the set. And what swimmers don't realise is when the coach writes a session, he's writing it for the whole pool. He's not writing it specifically for you. Per individual. So what the swimmer will do is they'll listen to the coach, and the coach will give them a set. They'll just go off and get in their own little world and kind of do the thing. What you've got to do is, the top guys and girls, what they do is the coach will give them a set, and what they'll do is, say it's like 10 100s front crawl, the swimmer, the top swimmers will be like, 10 100s, I'll tell you what I'm going to do on this 10 100, and they won't tell anybody else. They'll just say this in their head. They'll say, right, well, on this, I'm going to go 5 metres underwater on every single turn in a perfect streamline. Or they might say, I'll go 10 metres. So they'll do something different.
They'll be making it harder for themselves, knowing that this is what everybody else is training to. Mm-hmm. So keep pushing themselves time and time again and meeting their own targets on top of it.
Exactly. If you do it like the same thing as everybody else, you'll kind of just you'll just be like everybody else. But if you want to be like the top,
that works for everything, though, doesn't it? For whatever you're in, if you keep pushing yourself further than what you know everybody else is doing, you will get further.
And you'll get a sense of pride about that as well. So I used to do some sets, and I was actually quite good at this. I think this is one of the reasons why I kind of excelled. I was very good at like changing the set and doing it just for me. Because
it is something you did then.
Because I was so competitive. I wanted to get out of the pool and know that I'd done something different to everybody else. Does that make sense? So I could get. So
there's
a sense of exactly. There's a sense of pride. So when you get out and you're standing in the shower, you can think nobody trained better than me today, or nobody did that in the pool today that I did. I suppose
it's like in the gym. If you're training in a group in the gym and you do a few extra sets, you feel good at the end of it, don't you? And it actually gives you more energy, and you leave it feeling better.
Yeah. It doesn't even need to be like extra sets. It could be like, I'm going to focus something about my technique. Yeah, like, I'm going to really focus on keeping my back straight or my knees in a certain position. And, people kind of just go through the motions. Loads of people just go through the motions. But if it's the top guys and girls, they'll be thinking about the little detail. The details really matter, the little details all the time. And so setting little targets and goals, really big thing for.
And is it little things like, do you have to shave your head and things like that to get in the pool? There is these little extra things. I always thought you had to shave your head.
Yeah, you see loads of bald female swimmers, just bombing up and down.
Male swimming.
You can put your racing cap on, but no, a lot of people ask, do you used to shave your body? And for competitions, yes, we did used to shave our body. Cyclists do it as well, so I'm not going to let cyclists get away with it. Cyclists do it as well. It's
a bad habit.
It's to make you. I don't know whether. This is really weird talking about it, but when you shave the skin off your body, it's more sensitive, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So
it's not that the hair adds extra weight really trying to get through the water.
It does. It does. It does. Yeah. It could cause a little bit more resistance through the water. If you're quite hairy and you shave the hair off, it causes that little bit less resistance. But if you shave
less of you to get across the pool.
Exactly. But if you shave your skin, shave the hair off, it takes the top layer of skin off, so it makes your skin more sensitive.
And how does that help?
So when you dive in the water, obviously,
you want to get out quicker because it stings.
No, it doesn't sting. You're not going to cut yourself.
No,
but you feel you feel the water better. You feel it. You can feel the water.
And that helps you swim faster.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Well, we've learned something here today.
Exactly.
Anyway, if you have not yet gone over to our website and hit the subscribe button, please do that now so you don't miss our future shows. James, thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully we might have inspired some children to get in the pool, get a little bit more active, and maybe think about pursuing your hobbies further than just something you do on a Monday night. I think it shows us that anybody can actually do this if they try and keep pushing themselves. So next time on Media Soundwave, we have got loads coming up over the next few weeks. Next week we will be looking at anxiety, so please tune in for that. So thank you to everybody involved in today's show. Thank you to everybody tuning in, and we'll see you here next time in Manchester on Media Soundwave.